Jess. Jessica.
I don't think Jessica's on yet.
Okay, is this Dave?
Yeah, hey, Steve.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Hello?
Hi, Jess.
Hello?
Happy New Year
Oh,
to you.
I'm not connected with the,
No, we hear you but don't see you.
all right, let me see. Okay, we're ready to go.
All right, thank you. Welcome, everybody. This is the Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting scheduled for Tuesday, January 5th, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. This is an online virtual meeting. We're going to start with, that was our call to order. We're going to open with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody could please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
of America,
to the republic
and to the
for which it
republic for which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible, with
liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everybody. We're going to do a roll call, and we're going to start on the side of the room where Mary Lopresti would normally be sitting. So, Mary, if you could kick it off.
Okay, Mary Lopresti.
Joshua Dykstra.
Pizza Perez.
John Kerwin.
Dave Sauter.
Pat Cocherella.
Dan Walt.
Brett Olbrich.
Jessica Pennell,
Steve McCary.
Jesse Schremer.
Okay. And also wanted to know and welcome Kevin McSherry, our land use attorney. He's going to be sitting in on the call as well, too. So welcome, Kevin. Looking forward to working with you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Look forward to working with the commission and you.
Thank you. Looks like we have a full house in terms of the regular commission members. I'm glad everybody can make it to the first meeting of the year. However, we won't have to worry about seating of any alternates for this particular meeting. Moving down the agenda, we have public hearings. Recessed public hearings, there are none. New public hearings, there are none. Future public hearings, there are none. Following is regular meeting business. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Pat, Jess?
None.
nope,
Okay. Okay, after that, we have the audience of citizens. Is there anybody present in the audience of citizens that would like to bring up anything that is not on the agenda? Again, to the audience of citizens, is there anybody present that would like to bring up something that is not on the agenda?
Yes,
Who said yes?
my name is Thomas Beard.
Hi, Mr. Beard. If you could state your name and address for the record?
My name is Thomas Beard. I reside at 149 Newgate Road, Oxford, Connecticut.
Thank you. What would you like to say? What would you like to say?
I would like to start out by thanking the commission for hearing me. And my wife and I own 13, 21, and 23 Nichols Road. Bob and Steve Worden are the owners of New England Septic, which are at 110 Hawley Road. They have expanded their use with no permit to do so. New England Septic stores 10,000 gallons of raw sewage, bacteria, and disease. We are in the middle of a pandemic. It's called coronavirus. State law says these trucks must be empty or have a recovery tank to match the capacity in which these trucks can store when they're stored on their premises. It does not have this. Where does this disease go? God forbid they leak, which they leak because each one of the trucks has a 5-gallon bucket hanging off the back, which I have videos and pictures of that I will submit to the commission. The trucks must be parked in a containment area. New England Septic does not have a containment area. New England Septic has 3 of these trucks. They transfer sewage from truck to truck on a daily basis. And again, I have video and pictures of this. So they're operating a raw sewage transfer station with no permit. They have a public health license, and they know that they're not supposed to do any of these things, but they do them anyway. New England Septic stores and transfers up to 10,000 gallons of coronavirus and disease on a daily basis.
God bless you.
Pictures and videos of this. State law also says you cannot wash these sewage trucks on your property without having a containment area to recover the wastewater and dispose of the wastewater at a sewage treatment plant. Again, bacteria and disease. He lets it run all over the ground, which he's been doing this for the 9 years that I've been at 13, 21, and 23 Nichols. He lets it run all over the ground. I have videos of it. I have videos of the hoses with the sewage coming out of it when he throws them around on the ground. New England Septic is a major, major public health risk to us and to everybody in the neighborhood. The water runs across his property, over onto Nichols Road, down across my property at 13 Nichols Road, down in through the wetlands and into the stream. And I have videos and pictures of this. I've also observed Steve Worden with a shovel in her hand, digging a trench because the low side of their property is adjacent to Nichols Road. There's a piece of property between Nichols Road and their house that they do not own. She shovels a trench so the water will drain out.
Mr. Beard, can I ask you a question?
Sure. Sure.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Have you filed this as a complaint with our ZEO?
I have filed numerous complaints with the ZEO over the years, and I was told that his hands were tied by the former chair of the commission, which would be Jeff Luff.
I can't speak to any prior history, but I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I also want to be respectful of anybody else on the audience who might want to contribute. What I would suggest doing based upon what you've told and said is that I would put this documentation, suggest you put this documentation in writing as a formal complaint to our ZEO. And then from there, with the accompanying pictures and videos that you might have, we will review that and decide with our land use attorney what we can cover under our purview or what falls under somebody else's purview, and then address it from that point going forward. As we take a look at it, we're not going to be able to deliberate or do anything about it tonight. But for your sake, telling us here is good, but realistically, for us to take any sort of action, we need to get it documented in writing and present it to the ZEO. And again, I can't speak about prior history. I can only speak about where we are as a commission right now. And that's the process that I would recommend following.
That's understandable. The ZEO has several, more than several complaints in writing from us already. So I wanted to bring it to the attention of the commission. Hopefully that the commission will take action. This is just the beginning of several other things that I have that New England and Bob and Steve Worden are out of compliance with.
Well, we're not going to, and again, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I also want to, we're in a position here where you made some allegations here, and that's how I want to proceed. If there are other things that you had concerns about, then I would separate those and we would look at them individually. So my suggestion would be to document everything, issue by issue, to be able to put it in so we can, take a closer look at it and decide what, if anything, we would be able to do after investigation and after, consulting with our counsel. But I think that's the smartest way to do it. My short tenure, I know I've seen a few things that have come up, and I just think this is going to be the best way to proceed with it.
Sounds good to me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Mr. Chairman, if I might, this is Kevin McSherry. if Mr. Beard does submit the items, we can perhaps direct him to where the proper enforcement agency is. Some of the items may not be within our authority whatsoever. So once we have that and can review it, I think we have the obligation to maybe direct them in the right area for some of those items, especially the septic issues probably belong somewhere else, but we'll take a look at it and see what applies to us.
Exactly. Thank you, Kevin. And yeah, and I think that's the way we all have to be looking at this. You know, as these things come in, I want to be able to, you know, have some processes in place so we manage these accordingly and understanding what we can do and what we can do up front. So getting that documentation up front that Mr. Beard can submit it to our ZEO would be the logical first step, and I think the best first step to take. Is there anybody else in the audience of citizens that would like to contribute anything that is not currently on the agenda? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. Pat, Jess, do we have any correspondence?
None that I know of, sir.
Thanks.
Nope.
All right. Old business, matters on which a public hearing was held. We don't have anything. Old business, other matters, none. We do not have any public hearings to schedule. Did somebody say something? I'm sorry. I thought I heard a noise. All right. So moving on to new business, Z20-368, 353 Christian Street, owner Mark Sippin, 234 Main Street, Monroe, Connecticut. The applicant is Chris, forgive me, Bardagon, doing business as BDG Enterprise LLC, 4 Woods Way, Woodbury, Connecticut. This is a change of use permit.
Yes, that is correct.
Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, you did. You nailed it.
Okay, thanks. I got one right. Chris, welcome. Just for the record, could you state your name? I know we just talked, but if you could state your name and address for the record.
Yes, it's Chris Bardagon, 4 Woods Way, Woodbury, Connecticut, 06798.
Thank you very much. Chris, can you tell us a little bit about what you are doing with this, with the use permit and what you're asking for? A little bit of background about your business.
It is a e-commerce warehouse, basically selling product online, and it's just a warehouse to fulfill orders. Basic order fulfillment and product being received into the building.
And what kind of product is it?
It's selling hunting and outdoor accessories, so ammunition, flashlights, knives, anything related to shooting and hunting outdoor sports.
And you're not creating are you creating the ammunition there, or is this ammunition that's coming in and then being?
No manufacturing is happening there. It's just a e-commerce warehouse fulfillment center.
Okay, great, thank you. So I just had a few preliminary questions here because I just had a chance to look at this right now, unfortunately, so I wanted to kind of ask those. But I will open it up to the commission if you have any questions for Chris.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
there's going to be live ammunition on the premises.
Yes.
Okay. I assume that all the appropriate safety precautions and security, especially security precautions, are in place.
Yes.
I'm good.
Chris, do you mind giving us a little bit of background for those who might not be sure about like what type of what type of processes are in place, security processes you have in place?
Well, I mean, so first and foremost is that the business is BDG Enterprise. It is nothing. It's a DBA of Clark Armory, so there is no direct correlation to the business name to what my actual storefront is online. As far as security measures, I mean, there is a security system that's being put in, camera system as well. Everything else as far as security and safety, I mean, it's just ammunition and retail packaging that sits on a shelf, and the way that the the market is right now. It doesn't really sit for too long, so comes in and goes back out.
Pat, did you have any other questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Anybody else in the commission have anything they'd like to bring up?
Yeah, I had a few questions. So, Mr. Bardagon, I believe.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
good.
I note, and actually this might be more for Jessica, on your application, it doesn't list the district. I know in your sign-off sheet, it lists it as commercial. But I thought that area was the industrial zone, so maybe someone, that should be on the property identification for the zoning permit, that should be added in. Which isn't really a question for you, but do you know what zone you're in? That property's in?
I do not.
It
Jessica?
is industrial. It is industrial.
It is industrial. All right. So, hold on a second.
I'm back.
So it's just a wholesale distribution. There's not going to be any retail.
No,
No. And so your primary business, this is basically a warehousing and wholesale distribution component for your original business, which is Clark Armory.
correct.
All right, and that's right. Is it spelled CLARKARMORY.com?
Yes, sir.
All right. And can you tell us a little bit about what your registrations are, or what type of licensing you have to sell ammunition in Connecticut and online?
You don't have to have any kind of licensing. You need an FFL to sell firearms and manufacture. You would need a manufacturer's license, obviously, if you were making ammunition, but as just a retailer of ammunition, there is no special licensing that is needed.
Okay. And you're not planning on opening or doing any storefront business, any retail?
No, sir.
All right, and that would be a condition of your application. You'd agree to that?
Yeah.
All right. I have nothing else.
Anybody else in the commission have anything they'd like to ask?
Here.
Good here. Okay. Hearing no other comments, I would entertain a motion to approve the change of use permit.
So moved.
Second for discussion.
Okay, second with discussion.
I believe John wanted to see a condition of no retail sales. No walk-in retail.
You're right. Thank you.
Is that correct, John?
That's correct, yes.
So I'd like to add that to the motion.
Okay, who made the original motion?
I did.
Brett.
So Brett, would you amend your original motion to include approval of the change of use permit with the condition of no retail sales?
I would.
Then my second as amended.
Second as amended. All those in favor of the motion as amended, please vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, hearing none, the motion carries. Chris, I think you're all set.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
And Jess, you're going to be able to capture those notes with the application so we have a record of it in case the question ever comes up in the future.
Yes, I'll do the motion with the standard conditions and add the no retail sales.
No
condition.
retail, exactly. Great. just kind of keep it all together so it doesn't get separated. Thank you. All right. That's it for new business. Next up is going to be zoning enforcement. Steve, do you have anything you'd like to report or share?
I have to look into Stone Construction on Willenbrock. He bought him some extra equipment, but I need to check his permits from 2000 and 2002. He had a few tractor trailers parked on a private lot. I was told he moved them today. If you guys want to do a drive-by, take a look at it. I got some photos, but I need to pull the permits that he previously had before we really go in discussion and see what he was allowed to do and what he wasn't allowed to do. He's on Willenbrock. He's on Willenbrock, right next to behind the Colonial Tavern.
So you're gonna,
So
so
I'll,
before we, so before we do anything more, you want to be able to do that background?
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, I want to look at the permits first and see what he has.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. I want to take a look at it this week. We've been really, really busy in the office, so I'll probably report back to you next month on that.
Next month or next meeting?
I'm sorry, next meeting.
Great, thanks.
Okay.
Was there anything else that you needed to alert the commission about?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, wonderful, thanks. All right, next up is going to be
Dave,
minutes
Dave,
and,
Dave,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
before we go on, I just wanted to ask Steve about the wood cutting operation up on Good Hill. You know, the guy that was involved in
Yes.
timber farming. Have you
Yes.
been up there? You were going to check that out on I think a monthly
Yes.
basis to see if any wood's been brought in.
Yes, I've been up there. It's totally cleaned up. He got rid of 90% of it. And he had emailed me some state statutes on farming. I have it in my office. I can give you a copy of it, but the property's really, really clean. He did a real good job cleaning it up.
Well, yeah, because I've seen a couple of times people bringing wood onto the property, uncut logs. I have a picture actually, so we might.
Okay.
I'd like to see the documentation of what you've done and maybe pictures or anything, because looks like he's actively he's allowed to farm. Well, I don't even know about that, but as we left it, he was just going to clear out whatever timber was on the property and not import anymore. But I've seen trucks. I have a picture actually from the other day of a truck pulling in with a load of logs. So I don't think he's abiding by what he told us he was going to do. So maybe if you can go up and take some pictures and start documenting, you know, what's on the property and what's been removed. That'd be a way to go forward with it.
No problem.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
Dave, I
John.
got a
Thanks.
question. Dave,
Sure, absolutely.
got a question. I had 316 Riggs Street with those guys. I got that trucks parked up there. I sent you a photo of them towing 2 more trucks up to that property around right before New Year's. So he's bringing trucks in again.
Okay. I did not get a chance to do anything or look at it over the holiday, full transparency. But that's something that I had planned to discuss with Steve to take a look and see if, you know, in terms of anything else that's happening. Steve, I'm not sure if you've followed up anything up there on Riggs Street in terms of those activities or not.
I did. He had probably 60 vehicles up there. He's probably down to 15. From what he told me, his business closed. He's getting the trucks there and he's getting rid of all of them slowly. He also told me he bought a place in Stratford and he's going to be moving them there. That was about a month ago. I have nothing in writing though, but I will talk to him.
Yeah, just get a current temperature check and see what's happening there, and I'll send you over what Pete had sent me. I just did not get a chance to act on it over the last actually over the holidays. So, but Pete, thanks for the nudge.
Yeah, no problem. Because when I took photos of him. He came off of Route 8, Bank Street, and was going up towards Town Hall into Riggs Street, and he dropped off 2 more trucks up there. He had a flatbed, and I took a picture of the flatbed with the name of the side of the truck on it. So, letting you know, he's bringing them in.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
No problem.
Anybody else have any questions or things they wanted to run by Steve?
I'm good right now. Thank you.
All right, great, thanks. Okay, moving on to the minutes. We have a couple of sets of minutes, for approval, the December 1st and the December 15th. Thanks, Jess, for getting that all pulled together so quickly. Any comments or any edits or anything regarding the minutes?
I move to accept the 12/1/20 minutes as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And for December 15th?
Move to accept as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Great, thanks.
We have no invoices, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, great. Other business for the commission deems necessary for discussion. I have a couple of things I wanted to bring up, but before I do, I wanted to see if anybody else on the commission had anything specific they wanted to bring up that they, for discussion purposes. Okay. Hearing none. Okay. So the one thing I wanted to bring to your attention is that we were notified that our decision at the December 15th meeting for the approval, where we approved the special exception for the rock crushing operation, that is being appealed by New England Septic, and that is we've taken the documentation and everything from that, and that has been forwarded over to Kevin McSherry to review, just in terms of the process, the application, our approval, the appeal that was filed in court, et cetera. So I'm not going to really go into any further discussion until we understand exactly what we have, but I wanted to give everybody on the commission a heads up. This literally came in last night where I got it and I was able to get it over to Kevin. So I did not have a chance to forward the documentation or anything to everybody else, but you will get a copy of it to see exactly what it looks like and all. But I just wanted to give everybody a heads up that happened pretty quickly over the last 24 hours or so. So I wanted to get that in there as an FYI for all of you. Secondly, I wanted to throw out, I'm sorry, did anybody have any questions about that? I didn't mean to cut that off. I'm sorry. No? Okay, great. The second part I wanted to bring up with you is regarding the Riverview subdivision. We had left that at the last meeting that I was going to be reaching back out to Lars Realty regarding the conditions we had talked about we'd like to see in place. This is the group that was looking for guidance in terms of abandoning and combining a lot in the Riverview subdivision. Going through the documentation, reading through it, I decided that I think it would be best from who it's sourced from and what it contains that we should involve Kevin McSherry, the land use attorney, in those communications to make sure that we're just dotting our I's and crossing our T's. So I've taken the documentation that we have, I've gotten it over to Kevin to take a look at, and we're going to circle back. He's going to be reaching out with our conditions that we discussed with them. So I just wanted to give the group a heads up in terms of an update that I did not make contact over the holidays with them as we talked about at the last meeting, but elected to go this route.
Mr. Chairman, I did take a quick look at it in the time I had it. Oddly enough, there is a Connecticut Supreme Court case right on target, on point, Cady, C-A-D-Y versus ZBA of Burlington. And it talks about a lot line revision, much like we discussed last night, you and I. In the course of a lot line revision, I think we can address many of the concerns that the commission has as part of granting that lot line revision.
Very good. Yeah, and again, this is coming from a guidance. They were asking for guidance of what we wanted to do. So I wanted to kind of be prepared to kind of lay it out exactly the way that we wanted and also button it up tight. So, it'd be something that we can move forward and have come back to us the right way when they want to formally apply for it. So that's where we are. Any folks on the commission have any comments or questions about that right now?
I just had a quick question for council. Does that apply to Attorney McSherry? Well, Attorney McSherry,
I didn't hear, run that by me again, John?
what was the case that you
Oh,
cited?
it was a CADY Caddy versus the ZBA Town of Burlington.
Burlington, yeah. All right. Now, they also requested to merge the two lots, right? I think that was one of the more important aspects of, at least what we were looking for. I think that was the discussion we had.
Merging 5 and 6.
Yeah,
Yes, and I think you could accomplish that by a lot line revision. And the lot line revision in that Supreme Court case, doesn't matter how big the lot line revision is, as long as you don't create a nonconformity of an existing lot, or you aren't dividing, creating a subdivision of 3 lots. So I think we're able to do that and do a lot line revision that would control all the features of it, have a map recorded on land records that reflect that it's a single lot now, and have whatever requirements and restrictions that are the prior conditions for that property to be recited again on the map.
would that then, though, prohibit them from coming forward and trying to redevelop that section that they're giving up the development rights on?
Yes, I think we will reflect on the lot line revision that no further division of this piece would be allowed.
Excellent.
And that would be a requirement.
Yeah. All right. And the one concern I had, and I think you should probably take a look at it, for the use of the driveway, our regs require ownership of that driveway space and fee. And I think they only have a right of an easement. And you might be able to counsel us on this. Is that the same as a fee, the same as an easement?
No, it is not.
Yeah, so they would have to get a variance for that, I believe. Which I don't think.
I
would be
agree
a
with you on
problem.
that. They'd have to variance of the regulation, because if you don't own it, it's not a fee, and the
Yeah.
easement doesn't qualify.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be an insurmountable problem, especially if we're getting the benefit of that that lack of development up there. So.
It
All
seemed
right,
like
those are all
the town was going to not to have to put up with a crossing and all that excavation. It's certainly something that we could live with allowing for the easement rather than a fee.
Yeah, excellent. All right, thanks. I just had a few questions on that. So thanks, Dave.
No, thanks. No, and there's a lot of stuff there, and there's a lot of moving parts, and that's the other reason why I just felt a little bit more, now that we had somebody to work with on this, I thought it best to bring Kevin in for it. So that's that. Okay, those were the topics that I had for other business. Again, for the commission, was there anything else the commission wanted to bring up for discussion?
Not at this time, sir.
Okay, I think we went through everything here. So with that being said, it's 8:03. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Hey, everybody, Happy New Year. Great to have everybody back, and looking forward to a great year. So thanks for everything, and
I hope things get better.
Yeah.
we got to get back together in person at some point.
I know, we do.
Good night, all.
Good
Good night,
night.
night.
everybody. Take
Happy
care.
New Year.
Good
Night, everyone.
Thank you, Jess.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Thanks, Jesse.